AITA for cutting my ex-wife's health insurance after she left me for a younger trainer? At 55, Brenda decided that peace was boring and what she really needed was excitement. The problem? Her excitement had a name, was 20 years younger, and came with zero financial stability. What started as a new soulmate chapter on Facebook ended with an empty bank account, a personal health problem, and the despair of someone who realized too late that social media likes do not pay for health insurance. Brace yourself, because not only did I open the door for her to leave, but I also made sure all the windows were locked on her way back. 32 years of marriage, 2 wonderful children raised and through college, both successful in their own right. We had a paid-off home in a nice suburban neighborhood and a retirement fund we had carefully built. We had survived the tough phases, the sleepless nights with sick kids, everything a long marriage throws at you. I was 58, she was 55. I thought we had finally made it, that it was our time to relax and enjoy the fruits of our labor. I was wrong. It all started with a high-intensity gym. Brenda joined one of those places last year, saying she wanted to get back in shape. I thought it was great. I supported her. I supported her when the membership fee hit $185 a month. I supported her when she started spending over $100 on a single pair of yoga pants. I supported her when expensive protein shakes took over half the refrigerator. And then Cody showed up. He was 35, a former military guy covered in tattoos, the kind of person who posts shirtless pictures on Instagram with a generic motivational quote underneath. Cody told Brenda she had incredible potential. Cody thought she could compete in the Masters division of some fitness competition. Cody really understood her. I met him once at a family day event the gym hosted. The man spent the entire time calling me Big Boss and giving me unsolicited advice about my dad bod. I am 58 years old. I am not trying to be a fitness influencer. I jog 3 times a week, and my doctor says my health is excellent for my age. That is good enough for me. For Cody, it clearly was not. About 3 months ago, things began to click, but in the absolute wrong way. Brenda asked me to sit down after dinner one evening. Her makeup was flawless, and she was wearing a new dress I had never seen before. The formality of it all made me uneasy. "Ethan, I need to talk to you about something important." My mind immediately jumped to the worst possibilities. A serious illness, a family emergency. "I'm not happy," she said. "I feel like I'm suffocating in this life. I need excitement, adventure, passion. I need to feel young again." I took a deep breath. "We can travel. What about that trip to Europe you've always wanted to take?" She shook her head with that specific gesture that closes a door for good. "Don't you get it? This life, this routine, this predictable existence is crushing me. I'm 55, I'm not dead. I deserve to feel alive." "What are you trying to say?" I asked, though I already knew. "I'm leaving. Cody and I are together. He makes me feel things I haven't felt in decades." I just stared at her. 32 years. And she was leaving me for a guy who probably was not even born when we got married. "He's 20 years younger than you, Brenda. Age is just a number, Ethan. When you have a true connection with someone, that does not matter." The most insane part was that her bags were already packed. She had an apartment lined up. She had been planning this for months, all while I thought we were doing just fine. "I want a divorce," she stated. "Cody and I are moving in together. He's going to help me become a fitness influencer. A fitness influencer with 2,000 Instagram followers, half of whom were bots she had likely purchased herself." I could have begged. I could have cried. I could have started a fight. Instead, I just said, "All right, enjoy your adventure." She looked genuinely shocked that I did not put up more of a struggle. "Is that it? Is that all you have to say?" "What do you want me to say? You've made your choice. You're choosing a guy named Cody, who probably drinks pre-workout for breakfast, over 3 decades of a life we built together. Good luck with that." She left that night. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers arrived. Brenda wanted her share of everything. Half the value of the house, half of my 401k, half of my pension and alimony. Her lawyer sent a ridiculous letter detailing how she had sacrificed her career to raise our children. What career? She worked part-time at a boutique for 3 years in the 90s. I paid for her to get a real estate license she never once used. I funded her Etsy jewelry business that never made a profit. I supported her photography phase, her life coaching certification, and that disastrous essential oils multi-level marketing venture. But this is where things got interesting. Because she left me for another man, and we live in an at-fault divorce state. Adultery matters here. My lawyer, Ms. Albright, a shark who was worth every penny of her high hourly rate, was practically giddy. Brenda had admitted to the affair. She had even posted about it on Facebook with pictures of her and Cody and the caption, "Starting my new chapter with my soulmate." Ms. Albright actually laughed out loud when I showed her. "This is going to be easier than I thought," she said. Meanwhile, Brenda was living her best life on social media. There were daily gym selfies with Cody, posts about green smoothies and sunrise yoga, and long captions about choosing happiness and how it is never too late to follow your heart. My daughter, Chloe, who is 28, called me furious. "Dad, Mom has completely lost her mind." She introduced me to Cody as her partner. "He's only 7 years older than me. It's just so wrong." My son, Liam, who is 26, was even more blunt. "She's having the most expensive midlife crisis in history. Let her run her own life into the ground." The audacity was only just beginning. Brenda sent me a text asking for temporary financial support while the divorce was being processed. "Ethan, I need some help with expenses. The apartment is a few $1,000s a month, and Cody is between jobs right now." Between jobs. The successful personal trainer who was going to make her an influencer was unemployed. I replied that all future communication needed to go through our lawyers. "Don't be so petty. We were married for 32 years, she texted back. "We were. Past tense. That was your choice," I replied. She then tried to access our joint savings account, but thankfully I had already separated our finances. She called me, yelling, claiming I was committing financial abuse. "You're being cruel." "I have rights," she shouted. "You have the right to get a job," I said calmly. "Cody can support you now, can't he? Isn't that what partners do?" She hung up. 6 weeks later, the facade started to crumble, and fast. It turned out that Cody, the entrepreneur, was not just between jobs. He had been fired from the gym for having inappropriate relationships with multiple clients. Brenda was not special. She was just the one who appeared to have the most money. How do I know this? Because one of the other clients, a woman named Jessica, reached out to me on Facebook. She had also been involved with Cody and thought they were exclusive until she saw Brenda's posts. Jessica sent me screenshots of Cody's texts to her while he was with Brenda, saying he was working on something big, needed a few months to get organized, and that his current situation was temporary. I forwarded everything to Ms. Albright. She promptly forwarded it to Brenda's lawyer with a simple message: "Your client might want to reconsider her demands." But Brenda came out swinging. She posted a long rant on Facebook about how I was trying to sabotage her newfound happiness and how bitter, rejected men cannot handle strong women who choose themselves. Strong women. This was a woman who could not open a pickle jar without my help. Then came the health insurance issue. Brenda had always been on my excellent corporate plan. It covers everything, with low deductibles and great dental and vision. She assumed she would remain on it during the divorce process. But no. In a legal separation in our state, especially given the circumstances, I had no obligation to keep her on my plan. I removed her during the company's open enrollment period. 2 days later, I got a frantic, angry phone call. "You took me off the health insurance. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow." "Cody does not have a plan," I asked. "He's working on it," she snapped. "Sounds like a personal problem," I replied. "I have prescriptions I need to fill. I need coverage." "Cobra exists," I told her. "It is only about $900 a month. I can't afford that." "Then you should not have traded your livelihood for a guy who was living out of his car." "Oh, right. I forgot to mention that detail. Cody did not have an apartment before Brenda. He had been sleeping at the gym after hours. When Brenda rented that apartment for them, it was the first stable roof he had had over his head in months. My wife left me for a technically homeless personal trainer. 3 months later, the divorce negotiations were almost too satisfying. Because of the clear evidence of adultery and the fact that I had documented everything, Brenda's demands were systematically dismantled. No alimony. Her conduct forfeited her right to it in our state. She got half the equity from the house, but we had to sell it immediately since she had no way to buy me out. She received half of my 401k value, calculated based on the length of our marriage, but she had to take it as a lump sum, incurring massive early withdrawal penalties because she needed the cash immediately. She had no right to my pension. The house sold quickly in a hot market. After the realtor's fees and paying off the small remaining mortgage, we each walked away with about $180,000. Brenda burned through $30,000 in 6 weeks. A new car for Cody, a leased Mercedes she co-signed for. A new wardrobe for her influencer career. Professional photo shoots and cosmetic procedures. She documented all of it on Instagram, as if she were the star of a reality show. Meanwhile, Cody's true colors were shining brightly. My old neighbor, Mr. Henderson, told me he saw Cody at a local bar with another woman while Brenda was at her book club. The doorbell camera at our old house, which I still had access to until the sale closed, caught him bringing another woman home while Brenda was visiting her sister. And then Eleanor, Brenda's 80-year-old mother, called me. Eleanor is a woman I had driven to countless doctor's appointments over the years, a woman I had helped move into her assisted living facility. She called to lecture me. "Ethan, you need to forgive Brenda and take her back." Eleanor, with all due respect, she left me for another man. She was confused. This Cody person manipulated her. You're her husband. You're supposed to fight for her. She's a grown woman who made a choice. She's making mistakes, but you're being vindictive. A real man would win her back. A real man respects himself enough not to be anyone's second choice. Eleanor even said, and I swear this is true, "You're going to die alone, and you'll regret this." "I would rather die alone than live with someone who does not want to be with me," I replied. 6 months after she left, Brenda found out about Cody's other women. She also found out when she contracted an infection that required medical treatment. She called me, crying, thinking I would offer a shoulder to cry on. "He gave me an infection, Ethan. I need to take antibiotics." "Why are you calling me about this?" I asked. "Because you're the only person who truly knows me. I thought I did not understand you. I thought I was boring and suffocated your spirit." "I made a mistake," she whispered. "I am sorry to hear that," I said. "But my advice is for you to never call me again." But she kept calling, kept sending texts and emails from different numbers. Cody had moved another woman into their apartment and told Brenda to leave. She was staying on a friend's couch, but the friend was growing tired of the constant drama. The settlement money was almost gone. The influencer career had, predictably, never gotten off the ground. She was now working part-time at a department store, making $15 an hour. And then came the health insurance crisis that prompted this whole story. Last week, Brenda texted me. "I need you to put me back on your plan. I found a lump in my breast. I need a mammogram and possibly a biopsy." Now, that is a serious situation. I am not a monster. But I replied, "I am sorry to hear about your health scare. You need to get your own plan. I can't afford it. The marketplace plans are terrible and cost over $800 a month. You should have thought of that before. Are you seriously going to let me face this alone because you're being petty? That is an exaggeration. You need an exam. Go to Planned Parenthood. They offer services on a sliding scale based on income." What she did not know was that I had gotten married again. I know it sounds fast, but when you know, you know. Her name is Sarah. She is 56, a widow. I met her in a support group for people going through major life changes. The connection was immediate. No drama, no games. Just two mature adults who knew what they wanted. We got married at the courthouse 2 weeks ago. It was a small, simple ceremony with just close family. And as my wife, Sarah is now on my health plan. So, when Brenda showed up at my office yesterday, demanding to be put on my plan for humanitarian reasons, Sarah happened to be there having lunch with me. The look on Brenda's face when Sarah stood up to greet her, wearing a simple, elegant wedding ring, was priceless. "You got married?" Brenda stammered. Sarah, sweet as always, replied, "Yes, 2 weeks ago. You must be Brenda. Ethan has told me so much about you." Brenda turned to me, her face pale. "You've already replaced me?" "Replacing implies you held a position that was vacant. You quit, remember? This is Sarah, my wife." "But I need the insurance," she pleaded. Sarah, still smiling gently, said, "Have you tried the healthcare marketplace? Or maybe your boyfriend can help. We broke up." "Oh, what a shame. Well, we really should get back to our lunch. It was a pleasure meeting you." Brenda just stood there, her mouth opening and closing like a fish. Then came the tears. "Ethan, please, I am scared. I need help." You needed help when you were chasing a 35-year-old personal trainer. You needed help when you were burning through your settlement money. You needed help when you were posting about your amazing new life all over Facebook. What you need now is a job with benefits. A week after the office confrontation, Brenda took her grievances to social media. She posted a long, rambling post about how I had abandoned her in her time of medical need, how I was flaunting my new wife, and how men always trade in for a newer model. Sarah is a year older than she is, but details did not seem to matter. The post backfired spectacularly. The comments were brutal. Did not you leave him for your personal trainer? Girl, you spent months posting pictures with your boy toy, and now you're mad that your ex moved on? This is embarrassing. Delete this. My favorite came from her own cousin. Brenda, you are 55 years old. It is time to grow up. She deleted the post within a few hours. Then came the family intervention attempts. My former brother-in-law called to guilt trip me. Her sister showed up at my door, but I had already moved. Even our kids got involved, but not in the way she had hoped. Chloe was direct. Mom, you made your bed, literally, with Cody. Stop this. Liam was even harsher. How about you focus on getting your life together instead of stalking Dad and Sarah? Oh yes. She had started showing up places. She followed Sarah to her yoga class and just sat in her car in the parking lot. Sarah, a woman who faced real adversity when she lost her first husband to a long illness, did not even flinch. She simply walked over to Brenda's car and said, Brenda, this is getting uncomfortable for both of us. Ethan has moved on. You should too. The financial spiral continued. The Mercedes she had co-signed the lease for was repossessed after Cody stopped making payments. She was evicted from her friend's house for not contributing to the bills. The last I heard, she was staying with her 80-year-old mother, Eleanor, sleeping on a small couch in her room at the assisted living facility. Eleanor called me one last time. She is your responsibility, she insisted. Eleanor, she is a grown woman who wanted excitement and adventure. She is getting it. Adventure is just another name for poor planning. And the best part? Remember the health scare? The lump? She finally went to a clinic. It was a benign cyst, completely harmless. But not before she had told everyone who would listen that I was letting her perish from a serious illness. Then, a message came from an unknown number. It was Cody. Hey, big boss. Heard you got married. Congrats. By the way, B is crazy. Watch yourself. I replied, lesson already learned. Good luck with your next client. She still seemed to think we might get back together. She would call me constantly from different numbers. I blocked them all. Not my circus, not my monkeys. It has been 8 months since Brenda left for her exciting new life. Here is where everyone ended up. Brenda is working 2 retail jobs and lives in a tiny studio apartment in a less than desirable part of town. The fitness influencer dream is dead. Her Instagram profile is now private, with 436 followers. Her last public post was a motivational quote about rising from the ashes of a fire she lit herself. Cody moved to another state with a new woman he met. Brenda found out when she went to his old apartment to try and win him back and found it empty. The landlord told her he had left without paying his last 2 months' rent. She tried one last time to get money from me. She showed up at Sarah's birthday dinner at a nice restaurant. We were there with Sarah's children and my own. It was a real family gathering. Brenda walked up to our table, wearing an outfit that was clearly beyond her budget, and caused a scene. I need to speak with my husband, she announced. Ex-husband. I corrected her. We were together for 32 years. That has to mean something. Sarah, calm as ever, replied. It did mean something. Past tense. Now, you are interrupting my birthday dinner. Chloe stood up. Mom, go home. You're embarrassing yourself. You left Dad for a guy younger than Liam. You do not get to play the victim now. The manager came over. Brenda tried to claim she was family and had a right to be there. The manager, seeing our visibly uncomfortable group, asked her to leave or he would call the police. Her last words before she walked away were, "You will all regret treating me this way." Liam muttered under his breath, but loud enough for us to hear, "Is that a promise?" That was 2 weeks ago. She has since been banned from the restaurant. Both of our children have cut off almost all contact with her. Eleanor passed away peacefully in her sleep, leaving her small estate to charity because she was so disappointed in Brenda's choices. I got a promotion at work. A stress-free life does wonders for productivity. Sarah and I are planning our real honeymoon, a trip to Greece, the full itinerary. The whole ordeal cost me about $180,000 and a year of my life filled with drama. But in return, I gained peace, self-respect, and a partner who actually wants to be with me. Brenda wanted excitement. She got it. Bankruptcy is pretty exciting. An eviction notice is quite a thrill. Watching your younger boyfriend leave you for someone else is a real adventure. She still texts me every once in a while from a new number. There is always some emergency, some crisis, some reason she desperately needs money. I do not answer. Sarah and I sometimes share a quiet laugh about it over a glass of wine. Another text from the ex? She will ask. Yep, I will say. Needs money for car repairs. Did not she want a more exciting life? She did. Sarah will reply with a smile. Walking is quite an adventure. We laugh, we are happy, and life is good. Meanwhile, Brenda is learning the hard way that Instagram filters do not pay the bills, that 35-year-old personal trainers have little long-term interest in 55-year-old women, and that when you burn all your bridges, you have nowhere to go when the storm comes. Someone asked me if I feel sorry for her. The answer is no. She had everything. A family that loved her, a paid-off home, a comfortable life, and the promise of a peaceful retirement. She threw it all away for a fantasy sold to her by a man who could not even pay his own rent. Actions have consequences. She chose the actions. These are her consequences. I, on the other hand, am living my predictable, boring life with my wonderful, age-appropriate wife, my healthy retirement savings, and my excellent health insurance that covers both of us. Boring has never looked so good. Comment. I hope this story gives you a moment to reflect on what truly matters in your own life. Knowing your worth is the first step toward building a life of peace and happiness. That self-worth is what gives you the strength to set clear and healthy boundaries. You can be a kind person while still protecting your peace and refusing to be part of someone else's chaos. Each of us is the architect of our own life, and every choice is a building block. Even after the most difficult chapters, you have the power to write a new and beautiful story for yourself. Sometimes, the most exciting adventure is learning to be content with a quiet and stable life. Remember to show yourself the same compassion you so freely give to others. Your well-being is the most valuable thing you will ever own. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.